Hello, hello. I am back. It is Friday, and yes, we are finally returning with another episode of Ask Christian Anarchist. Now, if you hold on a second, I just had a G-Man moment there where I accidentally ended up playing the same video, so I'll at least mute it, and that way I could keep in track with your live chat. Yes, that's right. I'm now finally using live chat even more now for my video. But no, seriously. Especially to the one person that's decided to watch this. Welcome to Ask Christian Anarchist. Okay, now the viewers are going up to now 3. Okay, let's just go ahead and get this started and get the explanation. If you come in, I'm going to say this. First off, the live chat is there, but I have not made the link to join this public. Reason why is because there's been a new trend on this Google Hangouts thing called sniping, and apparently some people will randomly come into a Hangout, leave, and then remove people, and then once they're the only ones in, they'll do things like say their own agendas or porn bomb a Hangout so that someone like myself could eventually lose the opportunity to do these kind of things on YouTube. So what I decided to do is do this 2 ways now. So if you're in the Google Plus community and you're in my circles, you will get the link. I have already I've shared it with people who are in my circles, and they're the only ones who are able to see it. However, then brings out the other part, which is that if you are watching now due to the live chat and you want to ask a question yourself, all you have to do is type in the live chat hashtag Ask Christian Anarchist and then submit your question. That way I can know that you're asking me the question and you're not just communicating with the person that's in the their Hangout thing. But yes, this is the question where Christian Anarchist, me, is going to be able to answer some questions concerning whatever you got, whether it concerns theology, the Bible, the whole great debate community, and so on and so on, even if you want to ask a little personal things. But so while we're doing that, welcome to the Hangout, and let's go ahead and get our first caller on here. We have Charles Jennings. Welcome to Ask Christian Anarchist, Charles. Hello?
CA, can you
Hey,
hear me?
yes, I can hear you now.
I really don't have a question, man. I just came for the fellowship
Yeah.
because, I'm at a seminary class for right now to the 28th. So
How's that going for you, by the way? It's been a
it,
while since we last talked.
yeah, it's good. Turbo Greek went fine. It went fast, but
Turbo.
yeah, but I
What was that,
gotta.
speaking in tongues class kind of thing too?
No, no, no. I'm a cessationist, so no. But the syntax. I start the syntax class, which is intermediate Greek, the 28th, and Hebrew 1. Then, so we'll see how that goes. So I'm glad to be able to be on here interacting, and
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably need you if I need like help with some things right now. But definitely we're trying to make sure we get as much questions as we can.
cool.
But yeah, this is a recent thing I've been trying to do and finally managed to get back to it. Plus, with the help of now allowing those who don't have a Google account, they can just now use the live chat, which is directly on the YouTube uh, account itself. So more people can start watching and doing their own thing.
Cool.
Yes. So we're still waiting on whatever questions that you people might bring up on us. So at least until more people come in for questions of Q&A. So how have you been, man? You said you're at a seminary, so.
Oh, yeah, I've been doing good. I just I'm in some pretty cool groups on Facebook. I know you don't do the Facebook thing, but there's some pretty cool groups in there that are done by seminary professors. And I just left a webinar wherever we started translating the epistle of Ignatius to the Ephesians. So that was pretty cool. And in it, it was really cool because Ignatius was written early on, and in it he clearly says in the Greek that Jesus Christ is God. So
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, some definitely to use against the Muslims in certain debate things. Like you see, and sometimes they'll say that it was invented or some at some point later on before Ignatius or something like that,
Yeah.
or after Ignatius, I say. Yeah, I've also been dabbling and looking into church fathers myself. I haven't like gotten a chance to look at the original language because I can't really find where those are.
Well,
But
the reason we're reading the original language from other things outside the Bible is because whenever you study the Bible, a lot of times it's easy to use your English understanding of the passage to translate. So it's kind of like you're cheating. So by studying the Septuagint or something else that's written in Greek, it challenges you to be able to actually translate rather than to just cheat from your English memory.
I see. Well, at least that's a good thing. I mean, here's one thing that I've normally heard, and I don't know if you want to, or if your thoughts have changed, or if your views are somewhat still the same on this. I mean, would you say identify yourself as a Protestant?
I'm sure I got things I protest against, yes.
Because normally I've heard like Roman Catholics will say for some people, like I think it was Ignatius that some people will say uh, says that the Catholic Church existed back then, and the proof of that is an Ignatius quote where he says the wherever the Church of Rome is the wherever Jesus is the Catholic Church.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard one friend of mine ended up showing me a video of a guy that uses that quote to say that this proves that the Roman Catholic Church has been in existence since even around the time of Ignatius.
Well, one thing that I know about is there's a passage, I believe it's in Acts 9:5, I think. It says the church throughout. And if I remember right, it says Catholicos, but the word just means universal. So to make an argument that that just because the concept of the word existed at that time, that therefore the teachings existed at that time, I think that falls into the same fallacy as saying that whenever the Muslims argue, well, Adam and Eve were in peace and submission in the garden, so therefore Islam has existed from the very beginning, when clearly we know that Islam, as to its doctrines, didn't come around to after Muhammad did in 570 when he was born or whatever.
Right. All right. Well, thanks for the conversation. Definitely very good to hear from you again. That's for sure. All right. So right now we're gonna get to another caller who's just joined us. He is a king. However, he is not the king, in my honest opinion. And apparently he is a furry, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, it is Wolf King. Wolf, how are you doing, my man?
I can't even hear you guys.
You can't hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, the volume on my end, I'm looking at the playback.
Weird. I can hear you, but I mean, you can hear me, but I can't hear you. It's crazy. Hang on, I'm gonna refresh.
All right. All right, so he's going to refresh and he'll come back. So technical problems going on here. We don't know what the heck's going on. But yes, for some of those who are watching and y'all have a question, just y'all can put it in the live chat, hashtag Ask Christian Anarchist, and we will get to you, or I will get to you.
I saw part of the debate that you did with that guy about free grace theology.
Yes.
I don't know that guy, but I'm in some of the groups with the actual I guess you say professors and stuff of free grace.
Of the free grace theology.
Yeah. And so I'm behind on some of the arguments and stuff, but is he of the antinomian type camp, or is he do you feel is a moral believer who's representing that doctrinal position?
Well, he's pretty much kind of like a Jack Smack 7-7 type of guy, because he says the same kind of lines. Like he said, "Perseverance of the saints, y'all can persevere your way to hell," and he's just pretty much an antagonistic, looking for weird ways into certain things.
And that's sad. Maybe I can talk to some of the guys that actually represent the position very well in writing and things like that. Maybe I can.
You should probably talk to him. I know one group on Skype talks to him regularly, so I can introduce you to him through there. But let's check in with Wolf again, see if he's able to hear us. Wolf, can you hear us? Wolfie. Okay, now we can't hear him. Okay, try this. So I don't know if this is an issue that's going on his end or not.
Well, he should be able to type at least. I mean.
Yeah, that's why I put a chat message in the side chat, so maybe he could see that.
Yeah.
At least we're trying to get to him.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Oh, there you go. Hello. What's up?
How's it going?
It's going pretty good. Yourself? Hello? Well, I don't know what that beating is. Wolfie, you there?
I'm here.
Okay. So how you doing?
Hang on, I'm gonna turn my TV off. Maybe that'll help. Hello?
Hello? Hello, hello.
Yeah?
Alright, there you go. So how are you doing? How are you doing?
Hang on. I'm gonna close these other windows. I'm gonna see if that helps.
Okay. So while Wolf is figuring out some technical difficulties, we're going to try to see if we can get more people in here. So I'm going to go ahead and just add a few that... honestly, this no. Whenever I was doing this for the first starting of the week, this was easy to get going, but now it's gotten to a point where it's difficult. So now we only got, so far, Wolfgang, and hopefully he's able to fix everything. And once again, to the people that are watching, if y'all got a question or if y'all want to just say something, I'm going to go ahead and work on the side chat. There, you can type in the side chat, communicate, and once submit a question, whatnot. Don't leave me hanging, please. Don't leave me hanging.
I mean, I could hear you to some degree, so you're answering questions, right?
Correct. This is Ask Christian Anarchist number 6, and not 666.
Yeah, I guess this moderately quiet tone is the best we're gonna get. So fuck it. Let me just work with it. You know, excuse my language, but whatever. What do you think of the? I'm sure you've heard of the Education Satan after school clubs opening in some elementary schools across secular America.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard of it.
What is your opinion on that? Are you for that? Are you okay with that? You don't think that it's that it's demonic, do you? You're not falling for it, are you?
Well, as far as my whole thing, like, I know that there are different degrees of Satanism, and some aren't actually theistic or take it to an extreme. So, as far as what exactly I've only heard like part of it in an article. I haven't like actually looked at the article in detail, or looked into what exactly this club teaches. Because to me, it's not really my interest. Because as far as being for it, I'm for the people are able to express themselves, and they're able to practice what they believe, as long as of course it doesn't go hurting people. But of course, you know me, I'm also for the belief that while that can happen, it's also fair and just for me to at least have some kind of protest against it, in a sense that at least you know preach and get some people to go to the Christian club or something compared to the Satanism club. But I wouldn't say like there's demonic activity going on there too. We need to shut it down, because there's all kinds of like spirits getting possessed and all that kind of stuff. I'd have to look more into it in order to make a better judgment call myself on that.
Okay, I think that's a bit of a fair assessment, given that I mean, you have been very consistent with separation of church and state, making that fair for all groups,
Mm-hmm.
everything, and that's one of the things I respect about you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
To me, because
I
to
would.
me, to me, the whole thing with
I,
this is like racist. It's like you're
so,
allowed to be a racist, but I should also have the right to express my distaste for that right back at you.
yep, that's some of that Voltairean wisdom there. Yeah,
Mm.
but yeah, that's the thing with the public space. If you talk about having the freedom to talk about one view, you gotta let the other ones in. I mean, that's fair. I mean, I'm a Satanist. I view the symbol of Satan as an amazing figure. I love Paradise Lost. I view him as a hero, and it's just for the challenge of authority, the rational like skepticism, and just like authority, like just like establishing a rationale for oneself. I mean, it's awesome, So I like expressing my views of that in the public space, and I just like how that's all open and fair in secular America.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the one thing I like about America, is that one can hold to the view that they hold to, and with me, it definitely gives a fair amount of open air evangelism for Christians. They can go out and they preach their deal there, and as long as they're doing it within the confines of the law, that's fine. And that's why, with that, I'm not being censored on here, so I'm able to preach and express my faith on here. There are people in the streets that are doing their thing, whether it be in the name of, uh, Islam with Dawah, or Christianity with a open air evangelism and apologetics. And I don't know, unless Satanism has decided to do something in a street fashion sense, then we'll hopefully wonder where that goes in. But yes, and also as one person in the comments has mentioned that Russia has banned the gospel, and that's the one thing I've always been curious. What if, like,
Hold on, let me ask you a question. So you're saying that that Russia is like banning evangelism? Is that what you're saying?
based on what the person said, and then what I have read, that some apparently Russia's making it difficult for like the open air evangelism that normally has happened. That people, at least Protestants, go around and they talk with people about Jesus and all that stuff. The usual evangelical Protestantism approach, compared to what I think
But
is.
okay, I have another question. Okay, so despite the ban on the evangelical part, Christianity is still flourishing. Do you think that Christianity is still flourishing in Russia?
Yes, and to a degree, yes, because one of the things that I know that Russia is more in favor of is within the Russian Orthodox, or at least a branch of Eastern Orthodoxy, that's the main aspect, and that's why the evangelical part isn't too much of a bother to them, because they're not focused on that. They're more like the monks that you'll normally see. They just are in a very deep Orthodox form of worship compared to some of the Protestants you'll see these days. And that's what Putin is more in favor of. But compared to the evangelical Protestants, I've looked at a documentary that was made on this. It's very much a negative thing, and there's even some militias that are trying to, like, I don't know, keep from Protestants able to make churches and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I just be noticing from a lot of these a lot of people on the like the religious right that sort of look to Russia as like the next Christian country. You know, they sort of aspire this to be like America, even though it's not. I mean, especially with the rise of the secular movement. So, you know, they say like Christianity's moved to Russia. You know, like Jesus moved to Russia. Now that, you know, it's flourishing in that way, they look at it as their model for what should be in the West, but isn't. I just think that that was a weird mentioning hearing that the evangelical preaching was put down there. But I mean, you know, that's just the government and shit. Mm-hmm. I guess.
Yes, right. All right. So, any more questions? By the way, we're trying to see if one guy on here, let's see, Justin Matthews in the live chat is wanting to ask a question. That just, feel free to ask whatever question. I don't care if you put Q&A or the hashtag Ask Christian Anarchist thing along with it, but, you know, as long as I can see it, I'll be able to answer whatever question you got. But do you got any other questions so far, Wolfie?
How's the whole looking at Hillary and Trump thing doing for you?
I honestly want the lesser of the two evils. So, in my opinion for that, I am voting Trump. Yes, go ahead. Bring on the hate comments. I can see you already.
I mean, I don't even care because to answer your question, Charles, no, I'm not an Anton LaVey type of Satanist. I am a product of the Satanic Temple.
Okay.
You're a product of it. All right.
I mean, honestly, the way I see it is just going back to the original thing. I mean, and then I'll go with the reverse order, right? How I look at it, I grew up around a lot of religious satire, you know, around in my ears, like a lot of Simpsons, a lot of Futurama, a lot of a lot of Family Guy, all that. I mean, I just love the satire. It was just it just made it funny, and you got to learn about it too. You know, and Bill Maher does a good job of it too. I mean, and I do believe in a marketplace of ideas. I do think that religious people should be able to talk about their faith openly. I just think that people of a more skeptical, rational approach should be subject to test and criticize and even satirize the very ideas that make them what they are. And I don't think anyone should be really. I mean, if a person gets offended by that, that's fine or not. I mean, if they get the message, that's cool. You've given a message out to someone, and that's great because you're enlightening not just yourself but other people. And you know, if the very understanding could come about from that, that's cool. And if others are just too offended and want to create safe spaces, let them, you know, stay in their little bubble. I mean. But the reality is, you can't declare your idea like all perfect and not be subject to have it tested or inexperienced.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
right? Like what the?
Like, do you agree with that or?
Yeah, I mean, people think have at least some of the ideas tested, and that's why I'm not afraid to have my views questioned. Um, so, right
I'm
now,
sorry, could you repeat that? I think you cut out.
well, I'm just saying because I'm just trying to figure some of the stuff out on the Hangout thing, but yeah, I think like concerning if someone's views should be tested, that should definitely be something that should be done. You know, people need to be tested for what they believe. That's why I have no problem being a Christian and people asking me questions like I'm doing right now, where your view can be tested. So I guess that would kind of be what I would go with. But we're going to move on and get to more callers and more questions. Before we get to the Logical Christians question, by the way, welcome, Logical.
Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. You and your anonymous voice changer device.
Yeah.
So let's see, before we get to Logical Christian, Justin Matthews asks for a question, is presuppositional apologetics circular reasoning? To this, as someone who does use presuppositional apologetics in formal debates, I would say yes it is, because here's the thing with it. Depending on especially what kind of apologetic method you're using, whether you go for the school of Van Til or the school of Gordon Clark, as R.C. Sproul has put it, that it has definitely been categorized and put under the level of circular reasoning, to which I think Van Til defended the idea of circular reasoning with the idea that every single argument that we use is basically circular reasoning. And I don't know, but my whole thing with it is, yeah, if it's circular reasoning, even then it's only that, to me, it wouldn't necessarily be not something it shouldn't be something we don't need to use, but rather it's something that's very limited in how you use it, which is why I only use the presuppositional method when it's effective, which is the cross-examination part of my debates. If you go to my YouTube channel and look at some of my debates where cross-examination has been done, that's where it's been applied, is where I test the worldview that one holds to, as well as their position on a certain case. So that would kind of be my answer to the question there, and it's exactly what good presuppositional apologetics does. So hopefully that answers your question. But now we go to the Logical Christian. Logical, how are you doing?
Very funny.
I'm just trying to say it, you know, just don't blame the messenger.
Lately on the community group, I've had this guy named Antonio Valentini, and he's a Jehovah's Witness.
Okay, so that's the Jehovah's Witness that you mentioned in the chat with me.
And I brought up some verses to him like John 8:58, John 10:30, Matthew 28:19, all these kinds of verses to show that Jesus really is God. But he does have some logical points there. I'm not sure exactly what to say.
Okay, so hang on, I'm sharing a link with somebody. So so what is one of the verses that this guy brings up, and what's his problem? I might get Charles to help me out here too.
Colossians 1:15, where it talks about where Jesus is the firstborn of creation.
Okay, where Jesus is the firstborn of creation. Let me see here. 1:15, you say?
Colossians 1:15, yes.
Colossians 1:15. Okay. Reading from the King James, who is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of every creature? NIV, the Son is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. And then as the NASB translates, he is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. So what is their argument?
It's kind of talking about, I think, difficult to explain. Like sometimes other JWs will often use this to say like Jesus is more, he's like the son of God, but it's kind of difficult to explain. I don't know how to say without strawmanning him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're saying that like he's kind of like talking about birth order there or something. It's from what it sounds like.
May I respond to some of that?
Sure. I mean, it sounds like you're more, based on your hesitation to answer this, it sounds like you're more experienced with the Jehovah's Witness.
Well, I've had to study Colossians in the Greek through Mounce's graded reader and other things like that. But yeah, I've interacted with the Jehovah's Witnesses on this a little bit. I mean, basically what it comes down to is it's the firstborn over creation. Now, the word over is not in the text. That has to be determined. It's a particular type of genitive, and it's taken as a genitive of subordination, if I recall right. I can research everything in a second if you need me to. But the thing,
I'm just doing stuff, so I'll BRB.
the thing to understand about the firstborn reference is that this is a if you want to use the term Hebraism, basically from the Old Testament. If you think of when Joseph, whenever he was over Egypt because his brothers had betrayed him, he gave a double. He knew and set everybody according to birth order. So there is a sense in which birth order is involved here, but the issue is preeminence. And if you keep reading Colossians, you will read that it says that he might have the preeminence in all things. I'm paraphrasing, but I'm pretty sure that's what it says. And so the idea is that the firstborn received a greater blessing. He was the one that was to be over all the family and stuff. So it's not a reference to his creation or to his beginning. It's a reference to what he has been given preeminence over. In fact, the passage even clarifies he's the creator of all things that are visible and invisible. Nothing was made without him. Like I said, I'm paraphrasing, but we can pull up the text in a minute if we need to. But I'm just trying to be brief.
Interesting point. Thank you. Let's see. There are other things, of course, but I'd have to go back and find the thread. It's in my debate community, Christian debate community, which, Charles, you would love, if you would like to join, you're welcome to.
Thanks. You brought up John chapter 8, right?
Yeah, 8:58, when Jesus says, before Abraham was, I am. And
Right.
I brought up the fact that ego and me, rather than ego embargo, was used there. And he said something about it, but what else can I say about it? Because some people might say that and the reference from Exodus 3:14 don't have any correlation.
Okay, let me try to hit on some of that. The thing is, I just taught on John 9 last week, so I was in 8 recently, and basically in John chapter 8, the word I am, it's present active indicative. It is from Ami. Ami is a stative verb, and in the Septuagint, the reference to I am is ego eimi. Now, if he makes the argument that it's not a reference to Exodus 3, then there's a Hebrew word that is also alluded to in John chapter 8, which is anihu, the I am he. And if you go back to Isaiah, whenever those statements are made, it makes a reference to him being deity as well. But the way the Jehovah's Witnesses translate John chapter 8, if I remember right, it says, I have existed. Now what they're doing is they're basically saying that the present tense has a perfective force, or that it's referring to a past tense or whatever. The problem with that is that whenever you make a decision like that about the present tense, you have to have contextual considerations, and the only contextual consideration they have is what they feel is driving the text. They take John chapter 1 to him referring to be a God rather than the God, and therefore they take that whole pre-understanding to the text of John chapter 8, and so therefore they make the argument that it cannot refer to Jesus being the I am, because Jesus in John 1 is clarified according to their view as not being God but a God.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to deal with John chapter 1 before you deal with John chapter 8 is basically what I'm saying.
Okay. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Are you familiar with John chapter 1?
I'm still studying and such. I'm still kind of going through my studies and all that.
Mhm.
So I'm familiar in a sense because I've seen some videos, like Inspired Philosophy's video.
Good
Okay.
guy.
Um,
Right.
But I think I'd like to move on and let someone else ask a
yes,
question.
sir.
Yes. Someone put in the side chat or the live chat. Speaking of which, we have Reese with her question. Hello, Reese. How you doing? She was not able to join, but she's still at least put in a question to the live chat. So let's take a look at what we're reading here. So, CA, are you planning on going to any cons? Probably. I mean, I enjoy going to these different conventions. I actually did get a message to try to go to one sometime in the future. I'm trying to remember what it was. I know it's in Mississippi. Someone wanted to invite me to go to one there. It's let me see what. Great, I don't even think I can spell Mississippi correctly. But it's some kind of like I don't know, like Comic-Con or an anime convention that's going on over there, and it's a 2-day event. So I don't know. I might plan on going to that one sometime in the future. But I might also go back to the Bossier City festival that I went to last time, which y'all can see the footage on that on my anime, or not on my anime, well, just on my YouTube channel, and it was a fun time I had there. I mean, I got to meet some people that were awesome, especially Todd Haberkonen, who played one of my favorite characters from Fairy Tale, and even got him to do the voice on there, give me a shout out. But I mean, it was cool. I mean, even got to talk to people about Jesus while I was there, and it was, there was no, get out of here, you're a bigot talk. I go there, and that's one of the reasons why I like going to some of these conventions, because it's a good way to talk about this kind of stuff. And that's where I feel I can be more in touch with, the community and whatnot. So that's why. So yeah, I mean, I might. I know that me and Veckel plan on meeting up one day and going to an anime convention. If no one's familiar with Veckel, he's voiced Adine in one of my videos, and we're planning on making more of those, by the way. So you will get to see more of Adine and the gentle, shy robot android thing. And then there's another person that we're friends with on Twitter, and we're probably going to end up meeting at some point and going to a convention. Hopefully, anyways. I know he's inspired me to do some anime memes, and that's where I kind of got the idea. Is he's the Puritan otaku, and he's basically created this whole Christian anime meme genre kind of style that I decided to like doing. But yes, I mean, I'll definitely start being more of these conventions where people can definitely meet up with me, as long as they're in the South. That's normally the places I would go to. I don't think I'm going to plan on going to the North unless someone is willing to pay some money for me to at least live in a house, or you can just let me stay in your house. Like, just, gonna start begging for, places to live. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go to more conventions, but they're definitely gonna be more within the South, and that's definitely a good way that y'all can come meet up with me and let's chill. Why not? So, and I noticed that Reese is saying here, I spit my sprinkles, Reezy, or okay, I don't know if it's Reese or Reezy or something like that for the name. Well, I asked because now I've got a fursuit, so can totally meet you. Oh, great! I've already met some furries at that other convention. Y'all can see my interview that I did with those people. Though furries are nice people. But however, it gets really hot in those suits because apparently that person that was in it had very slick back, sweaty hair. So if you got a fursuit, make sure you're getting a lot of H2O, unless you're the one that spent a lot of money to buy a fursuit that's got AC in it. Which, on that, kudos to you and your investment. But we're gonna go back to answering more of the questions. Thank you for your question, Reese. Or Reese. She said I said it right the first time. It just, I don't know. I'm nervous. I don't want to get people's names wrong. Oh, I'm so sorry. But yes, we're gonna go ahead and get to the next caller. We have Cameron Leno. Leno, how you doing?
Yeah, I just joined.
Well, it's good to see you here, man.
I got out of a very, very bad conversation. Yeah, that's all I will say.
Oh, that's all you will say? Well, how classified is it?
Yeah, it involves some Bible studies calling.
Yeah,
But,
I'm noticing. I'm gonna have to put my Skype thing on Do Not Disturb, because do not disturb me when I'm doing one of these, unless I call you or message you. Yay.
Yeah. It involved this atheist going on a long rant about affirming the problem of induction as a non-issue on one end, and then raising it against the theist on the other, which I don't see. It seemed pretty inconsistent, because unless he appealed to something like final causality in the Aristotelian sense, I don't really see how his argument against, like, Jesus walking on water, of course, would really hold. Yeah, so sorry if I went too long there.
That's cool. So so what's the question?
Oh yeah. I didn't ask one. I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
That's cool. I mean, do you have a question?
Yeah. What would your response to open theism be?
My response to open theism would be pretty much that it's a heresy. That would be pretty much my first impression. I mean, to me, and I don't know why I keep on getting this message saying that there's a malware or something on my. Okay, apparently I need to restart my PC in order to remove some stuff. So I will do that later. But yeah, concerning the theism aspect, I mean, to me, it kind of has a strange way to look at God. The fact to say that he doesn't know all things, and that there are some things that can be outside of his knowledge, which itself denies these essential traditional Christianity, basically. So that's where I would have my first problem with it, and that's why I am pretty much going to be steering clear from it. And I've noticed that the people that usually are influenced by it are usually the people with bad theology in the first place, and the people that no one really likes having around. I mean, you look at Jesse Morrill, the guy who has the open air outreach YouTube channel, and then you have what's his name, Kerrigan Skelly, who even then he's not even likable among like the atheists and whatnot. But normally these are the people that will just go to places to have themselves filmed and put it on their own channel. And that's kind of pretty much how I view it. It's kind of like how Paul Washer once said it. There are people that have a good intention to go and start, doing these open air ministries to preach to people, but he wishes that some of these people would just quit and work at Lowe's or Home Depot, because they're nothing but angry people who want to record themselves preaching these things that they know is going to get people to, just shout insults and get violent with them, and then they can put it on YouTube and then post it as, oh, I'm a martyr for Christ, when that's not martyrdom whatsoever. So, I mean, open theism to me is pretty much kind of like how there's some people that hold to weird ideas to, like, for example, one thing that me and Veckel have noticed is that when someone says they don't go to a church and they've been preaching and doing apologetics for a while, we notice it tends to have bad theology. along with it. So it's like this. Once this pattern is seen, then you can start knowing that something's going to happen, and you can ask the question and predict it. So the same with open theism. Normally, the people that are holding to very wonky theology ideas are people like who don't go to church, or or are not a member of one, or that they are open theists and whatnot. So it's just things like that I've noticed, and that's what I would say to open theism, is that it does not impress me one bit.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I wasn't holding it. I just I wanted to know your take on it.
Yeah, well, take on me. Nope, I'm not going to torture you with my karaoke today. Yeah, I'll pass on that one. But yes, thanks for the question, man. And pointing out what Nathan Svensson says in the live chat, Babylon, bro. I think he's referring to you, referring to your profile picture.
Thank you.
Yes, Babylon, bro. That's gonna be a new thing. If you start coming in here and you're on a roll or something, I'll just say Babylon, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Why not? By the way, for those who are watching, I put the link, of course, as usual, in the description box. But check out, of course, visit the Spiritually Honest Ministries website. Recently did a blog article on there about Christian's Guide to Watching Anime. So if some of you are fans of anime and you're Christians, or you're a parent that's concerned about what your kid watches, or if you're someone that wants to get into the whole idea, this is a guide from a person who watches it that will surely be able to help you out concerning some steps to deal with, some cautions to take in mind, from a scriptural and a moral aspect of it within the Christian worldview. So be sure to take a look at that and give your thoughts and comments on it, and please share the article with other people that are concerned on this topic. And along with that, we also have the article for the Catholics, why the doctrines of the papacy are erroneous. So also make sure to give that a look. Okay, so one of the things that Nathan's trying to ask the question, I'm trying to still properly understand it. Again, human-animal behavior shows this is normal. So I'm going to try to go back and see what the question was. Okay, so Nathan Svensson asks, just curious on your opinion on our behaviors with regard to adopting some form of social identity, regardless of ideological stance, hence social groups, etc., why people need to try and define themselves because they're afraid of meaninglessness. So, with regard to adopting some form of social identity, I think it was in regard to that, like, people will just choose what they want based on what they've been familiar with and whatnot. And for me, it's some of the social issues. I've taken some sociology courses in college, so I know that usually it's the environment that they're going to be around that they're going to probably cling to something because some people don't want to be in a quote-unquote meaningless society or whatnot, and that's why they usually go to clinging to certain groups and whatnot, and regardless of the ideology. But ideology, in my opinion, I think plays a big role in this. Now, y'all can talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to be right back on our phone call to answer.
What's up?
Hi, guys.
I decided to go ahead and take my voice simulator off for a minute. I guess it's not a big deal.
Oh yeah, you did. I think the very first call I was in, you did that an extensive amount.
Yeah, because I'm still cooking at the moment. So, I really appreciate the help with the Jehovah's Witness issue because I'm still having a hard time. If you guys want to talk about kind of stuff, you can join my group, Christian Debate Community. It's a place where Christians like us can debate non-essential issues like the Noahic flood, the age of the earth, tribulation and the rapture, all these kinds of stuff.
Sure. Yeah,
If you,
that is interesting. Do you have a link?
I could give you a link. Hold on, let me get it real quick. Some help with that one guy.
What's going on? I think maybe my connection or something. It's bad.
Week about and I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
If you guys are interested. I can hear you. Are any of you guys like older creationists or theistic evolutionists or something? I'm just curious.
My default position is young Earth, but I'm open to old Earth, and I'm willing to discuss, theistic evolution, even though I that's the least closest position that I believe the text reflects.
I understand that because I used to think the same way. I'm a theistic evolutionist, former young Earth creationist. Which is okay. I have no problem with people believing it. But just out of curiosity, though, may I ask why you believe it?
Believe what?
Like, why you believe in, like, literal 24-hour days or whatever, may I ask?
Well, I didn't actually say literal 24-hour days. I mean, yes, I do believe that, but I'm aware of how Yom can be taken and those issues like that.
Yeah.
I just believe that the Earth is younger is younger than the old age view. I'll put it that way. And
like you believe it's less than 10,000 years old?
Possibly.
Sorry, and I'm hearing a lot of pop on my end.
Okay, so okay, so I personally don't believe that the days in
hold on, Logical, you're gonna need to fix your mic or something. There's a lot of popping going on.
Is my microphone working now?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, and it's gone back to the darkness.
Call me Darth Vader.
You sound like a demon, man.
That's what I would say at this point.
What?
Sound like a demon, man. Possessed by Darth Vader.
It's something I heard from Harry Potter. You ever seen the last movie?
Yeah.
That was Ron speaking in partial tongue.
Ah. Alright, so the
That's
person,
voice modulator shit right there.
So the person that asked the question earlier, like I said, I did need it more simpler, so that would have helped out a lot. So, question: what is it that has you? What is it that has you to be a Christian? Well, it would mainly be what I see around me, and reading the Bible, and then testing it with what is in reality. That would be the reason. Would be why I'm a Christian. Another reason would also be because of an experience that I had when I was about 18 or 19. I forget the age. I know it was in 2013 on Easter. And so I just asked about why did Jesus die on the cross? Because I had heard about the idea of, Jesus dying because he was framed, that he was innocent. That was all I thought about it back then. And when I was told that, he died for sinners, died for us because we couldn't do any good to redeem ourselves, and that he died so that could be possible, that got to me. And then all of a sudden, when I went to my room for a bit to think about it, just a chill overwhelmed my body, and then all of a sudden I felt tears, like a river flow, not like the gentle kind that you get when you're starting to cry, but like I'm talking like a flow of a river of tears is streaming down my eyes for like 5 seconds. And at that point, I don't know, it's like I wasn't even aware of it until now, but then I just decided at that point that I was gonna accept the Lord, and I was gonna read the Bible. So I started looking in for all these answers and all that kind of stuff, and that's kind of where I come at it, and that's where I sort of had my actual legit conversion, basically. So, yeah. And to James that wants to join the conversation, you can join the conversation by following me on Google+, which is where you'll need this to even get in the Hangout to begin with, and then you'll have to message me, and I will give you the link, because I have to give these out privately because of the snipers that have decided to invade the community as of lately. So I do not need any snipers kicking people out and then porn bombing the whole thing. So let's just make it with that. So unfortunately, due to that, normally this would be a public link, but unfortunately, thanks to some people, the link's not going to be public until Google learns to get their stuff together and remove this ability for people for other random people to remove people from Hangouts. So, because that's not fair and that's not cool. So yeah. Okay, and concerning what Nathan's saying in the live chat, okay, because of your prior knowledge of a quote-unquote God, correct, and that guilt trip. First off, no, it is not just because of a prior knowledge of a God, because if it's just a God, then that could go to a whole variety of things. Why didn't I become a Jainist? Why didn't I become a Buddhist? Why didn't I become a whole other things that would be very much more comfortable? As C.S. Lewis once said, that if I wanted to feel good about religion, I certainly would not pick Christianity. That'd be the last thing. So I would definitely not pick it to feel better. And concerning the guilt trip, the reason why I mentioned that, it wasn't because of the guilt. It was because that it was a philosophy that I wasn't used to, that someone dying for somebody. I didn't think Jesus went and actually died to protect or died for people. I just thought he was just murdered. I didn't view him as God or as a man that was, tried to preach a righteousness. I was a perfectionist. I believed if you didn't do one thing right, you off with you. You're nothing to society. You just are nothing if you're not perfect. And I was a hypocrite, of course, of this, and would try to make excuses for myself. But basically in school, I mean, if you made one mistake, I viewed you as the lowest of the low, the scum of society. And it was that point when I became a Christian that the concept of the moral of the equality and forgiveness aspect was new. It was something that I thought was in Jesus. I thought perfectionism was in the aspect of Jesus. That was kind of my moral teacher, but then I actually looked and understood what his views were concerning a certain topic. And that was the aspect of the sacrifice, the crucifixion. And at that point, that's when I started to, look more into it and develop more the concept of the morality of the forgiveness aspect, and whatnot. So that's what I would say, Nathan, is more expanding on what you're saying, is that it's not a guilt trip that it took. Yeah? What's up, Logical? Okay. Yes, I said
I
hello.
have a friend.
Uh-huh.
I have a friend who'd like to join in. Can I bring her in?
Yeah, just send the link and, make sure it's not public, though. 'Cause we
Don't
all
worry, it's private.
Okay, good. So, okay, while we wait for the friend, Nathan's saying, did you not recognize that when it happened? You were younger, though, so it would have been hard for you not to see it then. Irregardless, I mean, I was still looking into other religions at the time, and I wasn't, I guess, really much into the idea of a God back then. I knew the concept, but, didn't really take it as serious. So, and concerning, I don't know what you mean by I was younger. When I was younger, I really never heard anything about Christianity. That was the thing. That Jesus just wasn't really the main deal for me. I mean, I never went to church really, and all that, and no one told me about this kind of stuff. And when I was 18, that was when it happened, 18 or 19. So I'm 22 right now, so not really that long ago.
How old you're 22?
Yes, I am 22.
Oh, that's cool. I'm 23. I'm about to be 24 Sunday.
Nice.
Yep.
And oh dear Lord. I don't know if hey, Logical, is this friend of yours gonna join in the live chat?
I'm gonna see if she'll do it. She's kind of a shy person, but
Shy being with I'm just gonna mention this. The person's entitled Yuno Gasai, and if some of y'all already know the name or the anime of which that came from, I'm now kind of nervous myself talking to the legendary Yuno Gasai. And Logical just left. Great.
I'm actually seeing. Sorry not to interrupt. I was just saying I'm watching a lot more One Punch Man.
Yeah, Veckel has just recently gotten into that. He asked if it was any good, and I suggested it to him. And let's see here. We got someone that's joined from the live chat, of course. Properly ask for the link, and there you go. That's how it's done. So, James, how you doing?
Good. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, sir.
Sweet. It's awesome.
Sweet.
I've been meaning to try to get into some of these live chats, but time and whatnot. But now it's a perfect timing too, because I just got finished with a worship session, so it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say a couple of things. I think because I might have to split soon. Let's see. Yeah, but basically, I'm having a satanic black mass probably on Sunday for my birthday. You know, just debauchery and just talk about news and stuff and like what's going on in the world right now. You know, just
You're
do the
promoting your
lens of a
sat-
satanic black mass.
You're promoting your satanic black mass on my channel.
Yep, and you are invited. You are invited.
Well, at least you were accepted, you darn Satanist Johnny Jesus.
Yeah, I believe in no safe spaces. Anyone can come and talk about it, critique it. How can it be better? Anything really.
Good, at least
Because
that's a safe zone for me to come preach to
we're
you.
open to criticism. We're open to skepticism. Just bring some hard facts to the table.
Okay, sure. We'll get that going. Oh, hold on a sec. Hello.
Yeah, this is Gabby.
No.
Gabby, this is my friend Christian Anarchist.
Hello. Hello. You're much different than I expected. You look a little less psychotic than you did in the animes.
I like that picture.
Shut up.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have to joke. I just had finished that anime and was kind of blown away
It
by
was
it.
my favorite.
There's a lot of questions I have about Yuno. That's why I'm not going to get into that right now because I don't want to spoil it for some of the people who haven't seen it. Just so you'll know, check it out. But we're going to try to go into the order of how, because we got 2 new people that are in here, and I want to get this done in time so that I can at least catch 1 episode of 7 Deadly Sins before. All right, so and Cameron has to go for a second. So first we go with Jay, and then we go with Yuno. So Jay, what is your question for the Christian Anarchist?
My question has more in regards to spiritual gifts for today's day and age, for let's say healing or this one's a little bit more controversial. Tongues. I think tongues, when used in the right sense, can be used to glorify God, while you see other times where it's used in the Pentecostal church where it's overused or it can be abused and almost satanic in a sense. So what do you think about that in that regards?
Well, I'm a cessationist, which means I don't think the spiritual gifts still work. They're not in effect today. I mean, to me, things like speaking in tongues simply just means you're speaking in another language. And with the gift of tongues, the apostles basically were given the miraculous gift that they were able to speak in all kinds of different languages. And this was for what reason? To preach to the people of different tribes and nations and such, to preach about Jesus. Now we pretty much already got a bunch of people in Japan, in China, in Korea, in Africa, in America that know the languages. They're preaching the gospel. So we've already kind of gotten the purpose of the tongues out the way. And the same would go for some of these other things like healing. I mean, this was a more effective ministry for Jesus. We're able to do somewhat of a healing with medicine that we have these days. The main things that we have is evangelism. That is the main thing for the Christians. So as a cessationist, I'd say that people who normally try to focus, like Pentecostals that want to say, more focus on the aspect of, can you preach and speak in tongues? Like I tried to go to somebody who said he could cure my epilepsy by casting the demon out of it. And all it is was him going, dear Lord, cast this demon out of Christian Anarchist. Gotta. Apparently gotta is speaking in tongues when I've heard people go as well. I mean, they don't have a definitive answer for what speaking in tongues is. It's pretty much always going to be very different. So that's what would be my thoughts, is if you're going to claim something about it, then be consistent. But my consistent view is that cessationism is what's happening. The spiritual gifts are gone, and it is up to us to preach what has already been recorded, which is in the Word of God, which I have the NIV in my hand right now. So King James is not near me right now, otherwise I would have had it.
Right. And I can completely understand that. The only Also, the reason why I mentioned healing was because I've actually laid hands on people, let's say, mainly just for a headache, and they've been healed. I've seen personally where somebody has had, let's say, a really bad leg injury. People lay their hands on them, and they begin to walking. And I've seen people, let's say, prophesy or speak over somebody's life in their regards. It's like, how'd you know that was going on in my life? And it's like, that was something that came from the Lord. And me personally, what is it called when you believe that the gifts are continual?
That would be a continuationist, I assume.
Okay. I'm still trying to learn all the terms, but in that regards, I'd say I'm more of the continuationist, as you would put it, just because of the things that I've seen and other things. And I try to make sure that there's discernment in the matter, that it's not coming from, say, a darker place or anything of that sort. Excuse me, that's certainty. But yeah, what would you say in that regards?
Right. So say that shortly again, just like some of that I kind of spaced out there for a second.
Yeah. In regards for the gifts, say healing being one of them and a few others, teaching, prophesying, and I know prophesying can also mean teaching or edifying the church.
Yeah, I mean, to me that would be more consistent of what a good gift today for Christians is what you just said.
Right, and I'd also like to bring up another guy, which I'm sure you've heard of, John Piper. I know he's a
yes, one of my favorites.
Right, I know he's a continualist, because I know from some of the things that he's mentioned and other things of that sort. So, does it all kind of make sense? I know sometimes when I speak, not everything comes out the way it's supposed to.
We've gotten your point across, yeah. I mean, just to me, rather someone's a continuationist, as long as they're not extremist on it, like the saying you need this for a salvation issue. That to me, that's not a problem.
Right. And I believe that so long as you follow the teachings of Christ, because Jesus said, if you love me, you will follow my teachings. I believe that's the most important thing. I think that theology comes secondary.
Right. All right, so we're going to go ahead and, because apparently due to time, we're going to need to make this the last question. So we're going to go ahead and get Yuno. Congratulations, Yuno. You are the last person who gets to ask a question.
What the heck?
There's just a little magic I decide to work with, but due to the name being Yuno Gasai, that's the username, I'm just going to use this as the picture for now. I don't even know how to zoom in properly. Dang it! Why does technology betray me?
I have not seen this anime yet. There's a lot that I have not yet seen.
Go watch it.
What's it called?
Future Diary.
The Future Diary.
Future Diary, otherwise known as Mariah Neat.
That's one of the ones that's like on my list to see.
Yes, definitely give it a watch. It's quite interesting. But
it's my favorite. It's my first anime that I ever watched ever. I mean, I started watching it on YouTube and I liked it for all the swearing.
But have a backup anime, because honestly, it was very depressing to me at times. So have a backup, because the face of Yuki right now is the same face that I have whenever an episode ends. So, but in all seriousness aside, what is up? How you doing?
I'm okay, I guess.
Alright, but before I start making
What's your name?
Christian Anarchist.
He's anonymous like me.
Yeah, I have people that try to dot drop me and stalk me for the negative reasons, and
I'm not that type of person. Ask the logical Christian.
Call me Wolfie.
Right. So you got a question, just out of curiosity for me? I can answer any question concerning religion or just anything you want to ask me in general. I've already had somebody ask if I'm going to be at any more anime conventions, which I've said yes, I'm probably going to.
Wait, you're an anime person?
Did the profile picture not give that away? and me talking about Future Diary earlier.
Wait, you're actually Yuki?
No, but that would have been actually pretty cool, actually, if I'm Yuki. Then again,
Good, then I can be your.
What?
Say again.
Oh dear.
Logical, you're starting to sound like an alien.
I am Cornholio. I need TP for my top hole.
Okay, we're gonna need to wrap this up as soon as we can. Okay, so dude, I think we may have made break. So before this guys any more weirder, so do you got a question?
How old are you? How old are
Hello?
you? Yeah, how old are you?
I think your mic's on the fritz or something. It's not picking any audio up.
How old are you?
I think you might. This normally happens with some people. Try coming out of the Hangout and then coming back in. For some reason, Google likes to be an idiot and glitch on people, especially on the last minute when people are trying to wrap up a show. Google, I am suing you for all your worth at this point. So, yeah.
How old are you?
Yeah, just hang up on the call and then come back in, and then we'll see if the audio works so that we can get your question in. So that way, hopefully, the audio can work. And there's the picture of Yuno.
She does look kind of like a demon with it.
Yeah, that's why the Yuno Kasai that I've seen from the anime is scary, and that's why I'm taking
Not as scary as Isaac Kroger.
Nope, don't know who that is, but I will take your chances that it is probably someone scary. So, hold on, let's test the mic. Hello, Yuno.
Hello.
Okay, now we can hear you. I don't know what happened, but Google is trying to hijack this hangout. But,
Hi, Jack. You're hilarious.
So, you gotta, so, I don't know, I think you were trying to ask one. But when I asked if you had a question, were you trying to ask one?
Yeah, how old are you?
I am 22, as I stated in the earlier parts of this hangout.
Well, I didn't know because I just joined this thing at like last minute.
Well, welcome aboard.
Well, hello, people.
Hello.
But I mean.
Hello, peeps.
I mean, would that be the only question you got, or would you have anything involving religion?
Religion?
Or my thoughts on anime, or just whatever you want. Like, normally I'm an apologist, so I can answer any questions people have concerning the Christian faith. What they have on, like, for example, what James asked on the whole thing of the spiritual gifts. I can answer any questions you would have.
I don't have any at the moment. Not that I know of.
Alright.
But if I have any, I'll ask.
Okay. Let's see here.
I
Alright.
think she can hear you.
Huh?
I think she can hear you, yeah.
Yeah. I am.
Hello, logical Christian.
Yes, it is the logical Christian.
I like his voice.
I am your father.
You only are able to do that because you got a voice changer. Me, I can just do all kinds of things with my voice. I could be Nappa from Team 4 Star Abridged of Dragon Ball Z.
Oh!
Donuts.
What?
Wait, that's not right.
What's he done now?
Speaking of which, you know what? We're out of time, so we're gonna close it and do an off-air party, which that will at least be made public for the link, so if you want to join. I'm gonna make this official. I'm working with somebody, and I am now going to be a part of a Dragon Ball Super Abridged. So, for some of the people that have been, yeah, now some of my voice acting has finally made it. I will be the voice of.
You're an actor?
I'm a bit of a voice actor, yes. And I'll be doing Vegeta, Yamcha, Tien, and based on the new Battle of Gods and the Super series, I will be Reese. So we'll get that. We'll see how that turns out in the future. But yes. But that's been the long time I've been on here, and I've answered some questions. But if you want to come back for more, this happens every Friday. I don't see what it's going to keep me occupied for next Friday. So if you got any more questions, make sure you come to the Friday, sometime around 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we will get this show on the road again. But until then. But until then, this is the Christian Anarchist. Shalom Aleichem. May peace be upon you, because I wish that upon you. Have a good night.